All right, welcome back everybody. We are looking at Brush Ninja again today, and we're going to do a tour of version 2. We've had a look at version 1 in the first week. On the sessions I did earlier this week, we kind of recapped what we did in session 1, but with version 2, and now we're looking at version 3. This is video 3, but we're still on version 2 of Brush.Ninja. Things don't change that quickly. Now then, let's do our tour. The first thing we're going to look at is our tools up the top here. We've got the arrow tool, which we're going to look at in a second. We've got the paintbrush, which is what we've started with. So let's just do some random sketches here. That's come out like a number 3. I've got this squiggle over here. Let's do a undulation over here, and maybe a squarey thing up there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here, let's just recap what we've done so far. We've clicked add for a new frame, and then we've drawn again. Now, I'm drawing totally different frames, totally different pictures each time. And while that does create an animation, that's not what I'd like you to focus on. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so our brains tries to make sense of it. We try to see if we're seeing some kind of movement and animation. And it is an animation, but we're not creating the illusion that something's moving that's not. And that's fine. You know, this could be part of a music video. It could be part of some credits, some kind of intro to a TV program. And so it is an animation. But what we've been focusing on is the art and the craft of line animation in this case, because we want to understand the concepts while we understand this piece of software called Brush.Ninja. So, coming up to new, I'm going to create a new one, but I am going to create kind of a randomy thing. Oh, we got the number 3 again. I don't know why that's happening. And then we've got this U shape here. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the arrow tool. And you'll see with the arrow tool, I can move things around. I can reposition these layers. So we can think of these as being drawn on separate sheets of clear plastic. You can imagine that this is like whiteboard pens drawn on each of these on their own sheet of clear plastic. So we can move the sheets of plastic around. We can change them individually. So we're going to duplicate this frame. And that's the 2 square icons at the bottom of the first frame. So we get an exact copy. If I press play, we see no animation because those 2 frames are exactly the same. But let's rotate these ones. I'm going to rotate each of these in differing directions. And those onion skins, if your onion skin isn't on, by the way, it's this yellow square with a picture of an onion. So which way are we spinning this one? Okay, that's going to spin this way. So the onion skinning will help us to remember which way. So let's duplicate that frame. And I'm going to move quite quickly here. So I'm clicking on each of my squiggles. Oh, we're going this way with that one. And we're going this way with that one. I think that's right, good. So duplicate that frame. So each time we make changes, we then copy it. Going that way, and going that way. Each time we copy, each time we change, rather, we're then making a new copy. And is that right? Let's play it and check how I'm doing. Well, we'll do one more frame. Let's do 6, because at the moment, if we check our speed settings over here, we see that we are at 6 frames per second. So this will give us 1 whole second of animation if we've got 6 of them. Frame 6 of 6, good. Let's spin it round one more time. So that should be going that way. I think this is right. I may have caused myself a bit of a headache here. Right, now, this is an issue with this version of Brush Ninja. Maybe I should have gone all the same way here. We'll see in a second. if I got this right. Okay, so I'm going to play that and see how we do. All right, not bad. So we are seeing an animation now. They're rotating around. Let's see what else we can do. So if I come up to the next frame, so I'm duplicating that one, let's have them, we're going to stop spinning now, but we're going to move them apart. So each of these is going to kind of explode a little bit like we did with our fireworks. They're each going to move away from the center. So I'm duplicating, I'm changing the objects on each of these frames. And as I go, let's do it until they're all nearly off the screen. Let's play that. So we're going to spin to start, then move apart, spin to start, then we kind of jump back in at the moment, don't we? Well, this time let's come back into the center. So let's duplicate that frame and then bring things back in. They can move a bit quicker now into the center. So bigger jumps. That's going to look like acceleration if the jump gets bigger each time. And I'm going to kind of bring them in to put them on top of each other here. Let's bring it right in. And there we go. Let's play that now. Move out, zoom. Move out, zoom. Okay, so to recap what we've done here, we've used the arrow tool. On one frame, I did 4 different squiggles. You could do 2 or 3. And then using the arrow tool, we spun them around. We moved them around. And the last thing we're going to look at doing here is, let's see if I can select everything. And we're going to grow everything. So we're going to kind of zoom in. And I'm going to try and reposition. So I'm dragging a box around, clicking and dragging here. And then I'm grabbing the corner and expanding. In fact, I'm going to undo that and undo that. Let's look at my frames here. Middle, bigger. Right, so that does need to grow here. I wasn't sure if I'd skipped a step. And each time I'm trying to reposition back into the middle because I want this stuff to stay central. And I'm always grabbing from a corner, and that grows it in that direction. So I'm grabbing the corner, but then replacing it back in the center. I'm dragging my box around, and this is fantastic skills for you guys with your clicking and dragging and mousing, or if you're on a tablet, it's the same thing. So clicking and dragging, clicking and dragging. And again, I'm going to run out. I can't access my corners anymore, so that's going to have to be it for this. But let's play it. So we spin around, we move out, we come back, we zoom in, we spin around. So apart from my first frame, I didn't draw anything new this time, but I used the select tool. Now let's just quickly look here. We can group things together so that they'll always be one, so I wouldn't need to drag a whole box around each time. If I just select, say, the green one and the black one. Let's see if I can do this together. Maybe I need to draw a little box just around those two. Is that going to work? No, it's not. Now I'm on an iPad at the moment. On a computer, you might be able to hold down Control and Shift. I haven't tried that yet, but I thought that would work for me if I just draw the box around the two. Let's see. Around the black one. Seems to be doing them all, doesn't it? Never mind. Okay. But if I want to delete one in particular, let's say I want to get rid of the green one, because I can click on that one, I then hit the dustbin, and that's going to get rid of that one. I can also bring things forward or bring them back, so put them behind each other. So at the moment, the black squiggle is at the back of the blue and the red. If I say bring forwards, which is just down here, it's going to bring the black one to the top. Can you see it going over the top? And now it's going behind the other two. So what I'd love you guys to do is, with this bit, have a play now on one frame, draw 2 or 3, maybe 4 squiggles, and then duplicate that frame. So that's the square icons at the bottom here. And then have a go with the select tool, moving those bits around. Because what you're going to find later is that we can do that with shapes, we can do it with text, so we don't actually have to draw every frame, and that's going to give us a totally different feel for our animations.